Greetings, Patriots. This is our test review for our Unit 2 test on Tuesday. Please use this to check your answers. Okay, so let's look at problem number 1. Write the following number in scientific notation. So remember, if I have a large value, right, I'm going to have that positive exponent. So I have some number times 10 to a positive exponent. Don't forget that this number should always be between 1 and 10. So if I move my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I get 1.3 times 10 to the 8th power. Now what I need to do is put the following values in order from least to greatest. So 0.6 is already in decimal form. 0.3 repeating is equivalent to 1/3. -3 will stay the same. The opposite of the square root of 4 would be -2. And I know that 35% is the same as saying 35 divided by 100, or 0.35 if I actually divide that on my calculator. So let's go ahead and put these in numerical order. Again, I like to use a number line to help me when ordering. So when I look at the following negative values, I know that -3 is the least amount. -2, or the negative square root of 4, would be next in line. And then I have 0.3 repeating and 0.6. So when I look at the following values, I know the least amount is going to be 1/3. So if here's 1, I know 1/3 is going to be next in line. And then 35 cents would be after that, or 35% would be next in line. And finally, 0.6. And I know I can't make it fit because my 1 should be over here. So let me rewrite this so it looks much neater. -3 is the least. Negative square root of 4 is next in line. 1/3 comes next. 35%. And finally, 0.6. Okay, let's go ahead and do scientific notation on number 3. Again, I know that this is a large value, so I'm going to have a positive exponent, and I'm going to move my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 1.3 times 10 to the 5th power. What is the opposite square root of 68? Well, using your decimals calculator, type that in, and you should get the following: -8.24. 5 divided by 9 is what as a decimal? Well, again, in your calculator, if you take 5 and divide that by 9, that's going to give you the decimal of 0.5 repeating. Remember you put your little line indicating that this is a repeating decimal. Okay, next, there are 4 students working on an assignment in class. Mike has completed 1/9 of this assignment. Gwen has completed 11% of the assignment. Jorge has completed 0.12 of the assignment. And Ty has completed 1/8 of the assignment. Not quite sure why 1/8 did not come out. All right, so your job is to convert everything to decimal. So if I take 1 and I divide that by 9, that gives me 0.01. Sorry, it gives me 0.11 repeating. So let me write that down. And that's repeating. 11% is 11 divided by 100 would give me 0.11. Jorge has completed 0.12. I don't have to worry about that. And 1 divided by 8 is equal to 0.125. So they want to know which one has completed the smallest amount, right? The least amount of the assignment. So I think it's important here, since I have a repeating decimal and so forth, to actually take the time to line these up. So 0.11 repeating, 0.11 just stays as is, it terminates, 0.12, and 0.125. Well, I can tell by just looking at my place value, and this is a repeating one, so it continues, that I can eliminate these two students, Ty and Jorge, because they have finished more of the assignment than Gwen and Mike. So if I look at Gwen and Mike, I can only compare this third place value, and I can see that Gwen has completed less than Mike has. So Gwen would be the answer. Don't confuse that. It looks like Mike has completed less, but that's a repeating value. All right, let's go ahead. Problem 7. Once again, practicing writing in scientific notation. Don't forget, if I have a small value, which this is, I'm going to have some number times 10 to the negative power. So I'm going to go ahead and move my decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1.3 times 10 to the negative 5. Remember, this number must be between 1 and 10. All right, now I'm going from scientific notation back to standard notation. I see that my exponent is a negative exponent. So this tells me that I am going to have to move my decimal to make this smaller to the left 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Place my decimal there and go ahead and fill in the zeros that would go in those place values. So this is going to be 0.1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and one more, 1, 3. And this is what your final answer should look like. What is the square root of 64? So what number times itself gives you the perfect square of 64? Well, that would be 8. Okay, next, let's go ahead and go to problem 10. Don't forget, convert everything to decimal form, and keep in mind they want this from the greatest to the least. So I want the largest value to the smallest value back in its original form. All right, so let's go ahead and take an opportunity to look at pi. You can actually type pi into your calculator, and that's 3.14 ... It's an irrational number. Negative 0.4. All right, and then if you convert the negative square root of 3, you're going to get negative 1.73. That's also an irrational number, so that would continue. 278%, I can divide that by 100 or move my decimal 2 places to the left, and that would be 2 78/100ths. And 3.15 is already in decimal form, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so if I just look at everything here in form of money, well, $3.15 is the greatest, right? So if I look at the following in blue, 3.15 is the largest value. Next in line would be pi, according to the decimal value. The next positive value that I get there is 278%. And then the next value on the number line would be negative 0.4. And finally, the one farthest from 0 on the left side would be the negative square root of 3. Okay, moving on. Which is bigger, 678,000 or 6.78 times 10 to the 6? Well, let me convert this to standard form so that I can compare. So I'm going to take 6.78 and I'm going to move my decimal 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Add my zeros where they need to go and rewrite my value. 1, 2, 3, let me see, 6, 7, 8. And then I have 4 zeros. Let me go ahead and put my place value. Well, this says I have 6,780,000, and I know that that is greater than $678,000. So this is larger. Okay, moving on. Chloe wants to make a tablecloth with an area of 169 square feet. So she's wanting to make a cloth that is 169 square feet. So I need to know what the side length of the tablecloth is. Well, if I have an area of this, I can take the square root of that and find that that perfect square gives me a side length of 13. How do I know that? Well, go back and multiply 13 times 13, or 13 to the second power, is equal to 169. So the root of 169, or the side length of that square, is 13. All right, finally, we're going to order the following values from least to greatest. And it's important to, again, use your calculator and convert these values in decimal form. I got a irrational number there, then I have 6, then I have 5.8 and 5.36 repeating, with the 6 repeating. So the least amount, if I'm looking at all of this in money, would be 5.36 repeating. That would be the smallest. The next value would be the square root of 30. And the next value would be 5 4/5, because that's $5.80. And finally, $6 would be the greatest value. All right, Patriots, don't forget to study, refer to your answers on the review so that you do well on our unit test on Tuesday. Have a great day.